What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Alolan DataDex with me, TheOneIntegral. Now last episode and the previous few episodes we've been covering the Alolan starter Pokemon, Decidueye, Incineroar and Primarina, but of course now we have to move on, and I asked you guys which Lycanroc form you wanted to see me cover for episode 4, and Midnight was on top. Now in terms of which form is better, I believe it's Midday. I think a lot of people are in agreement that it's Midday, but we'll try and get the best out of Midnight as we can. But of course we have next episode to think about too, and we have a nice fancy vote for that coming up too, and that of course is going to be between two water type Pokemon, new for Generation 7 of course. We have Toxapex and we have Araquanid. These guys are both going to be monsters in the competitive game for Generation 7. Toxapex is a tanky, poisonous thing, and then Araquanid has an amazing ability that doubles the power of all its water type moves, so it's really all physical water type moves. You'll see when we get to the video if of course you guys choose for Araquanid, but of course you can choose Toxapex as well, so let me know which one you want to see by commenting down below, either Toxapex or Araquanid. But for now, let's jump in and have a look at Lycanroc. So, he is number 745, he or she I suppose, 745 in the National Pokédex, pure rock type and is the wolf Pokemon. Lycanroc Midnight form stands at 3 foot 7 inches or 1.1 meters and weighs 55.1 pounds or 25 kilograms, so fairly standard. In terms of eggs and breeding, it's in the field egg group and it's a 50-50 split for the Rockruff line, 50% male, 50% female. In terms of evolution, I mentioned it Rockruff and it evolves from Rockruff at level 25 in Pokemon Moon only. So if you only have Pokemon Sun, you're going to have to trade your Rockruff to a friend or get them to trade your Lycanroc over. However, you can catch yourself Lycanroc in the wild in both games. You just have to go to the Pony Grand Canyon, something like that. So if you need it, it's there. You just can't get a Rockruff and evolve it yourself. But then in terms of base stats, if you look for Lycanroc Midnight form, because they have different base stat distributions, Lycanroc Midday is the faster of the two, Lycanroc Midnight has less speed, but that other few stats are spread across the health points and defences. As you can see, its highest stat is attack at 115, then we move down to health points at 85, then speed at 82, and then finally, finishing up, defences at 75 each, and then finally the special attack at 55. So no surprise, we won't be looking at special attacking moves for Lycanroc. It's a physical attacker, it's fairly fast, it's not like amazingly fast, but it's got some speed to it. However, it fares off better on Midday, because Midday has even more speed, and the extra trickling of stats and defences for Lycanroc Midnight doesn't really help here. So it's not the best stat spread, but we can make do with it because it has some good abilities. First up we have its basic abilities. The first one is Keen Eye, which prevents it from lowering its accuracy, it prevents other Pokemon from lowering its accuracy, so it's always going to have 100% accuracy sort of thing. Or the best accuracy you can have by default. Or it has Vital Spirit, which prevents falling asleep, which is probably better than Keen Eye, because sleep is something you might see a lot in competitive battles and such, but its hidden ability is, I guess, arguably the best option here. It's No Guard, which means that any attacks that Lycanroc Midnight does are guaranteed to hit, so it's basically Keen Eye but better, because it's not lowering accuracy, it's just always hitting it, but it means enemy Pokemon can always hit Lycanroc Midnight as well. So it's sort of 50-50. You gain this awesome power, but then also you have to accept that anyone that can hit you with a Stone Edge or with any move, regardless of what it is, they can hit you with it basically. So it's a sort of 50-50 split there, but it's arguably the better ability for Lycanroc to have. In terms of its typing, being a pure rock type, it's nothing too special. It resists 4 types, which are normal, fire, flying and poison. It's weak to 5, which are grass, water, fighting, ground and steel, and takes neutral from all the rest. So overall, not an amazing typing, because more weaknesses than resistances, and no immunity, so it's not amazing, but it's standard, we can deal with it I suppose. Looking at the moves for Lycanroc, in terms of Midday, Midnight, Midday and Midnight get pretty much the same moves. Midday does get an extra move or two, as does Midnight, and we'll see that as we go through. First up though we have, at level 29, Lycanroc can learn Stealth Rock, and obviously this would be good if you're going for a defensive set. You go in your Stealth Rock, and Stealth Rock's needed basically in competitive, or Stealth Rock or Spikes I suppose. So it's definitely a good move for Lycanroc to have in its pool. Then at level 40 it learns Crunch, a base 80 power move, so it's pretty powerful. Of course it's not part Dark type, remember, although you might expect it to be, so it doesn't get stabbed on this move, but it's a good coverage move for Psychic types and other types that are weak to Dark, like Ghost for example, that you wouldn't be able to cover with a Rock type move. Then we have a Rock type move here, which is at level 48. It learns Stone Edge. Of course, you can also teach this by TM too, so you can do it by TM if you're a lower level, but Stone Edge has 100 base power, so it's a pretty powerful Rock type move, but it only has 80% accuracy. But remember, if you have No Guard, it's always going to hit. regardless. So that's the bonus of having no guard on Lycanroc Midnight, is that you can hit stone edges all the time. Moving on to TMs next, we have at TM05 Raw. Now, you'll see when we get to the sets of why you might want to run this, and different possibilities you can do with it, but basically, gets rid of the opponent, so you might want to use it in that sense, as we'll look at. Then we have at TM12 Taunt, of course, which again, sort of similar to Raw, could be used in particular sets, make the opponent attack you basically, and again, we'll see how that works out when we get to that set. Then again, another one similar to this is Swagger at TM87, not exactly something you'd really expect to be seeing, but remember Swagger has a lower accuracy in Generation 7, so it might not be as effective as it was in previous gens. I haven't put the accuracy on here, but it actually has 85% accuracy in Generation 7, which is 5% down from last gen, so it's not a huge change, but it's a bit of a one there. So then 2 Heart Scale moves, which are the moves that are exclusive to Lycanroc Midnight, and those are Counter and Reversal, 2 fighting type moves. Both don't have power of themselves because they build off of different things. First we have Counter, which doubles the damage and puts it back, so that's sort of how you might intend to use Lycanroc, as you'll see when we get to the sets. But the second one, Reversal, does damage based on your current health points, so it means that if you have full health points, it's not going to do much damage, so it has base power 20, but if you have 1 health point, you're going to do a lot of damage, base power 200, so it's really quite powerful, and definitely something you want to think about, I guess, using if you're going for particular sets, as we'll look at in a minute. Then to finish up, we have some egg moves here. The first of these is Fire Fang, which is obviously a fire type move. It's only got 65 base power, so it's not amazing, but it is coverage, and it has 95% accuracy, but with no guard, that brings it up to obviously 100% again, as usual. And then we have Sucker Punch, which is definitely something you might want to think about running. Yes, it has good speed, but Sucker Punch instead of Crunch is pretty good, although it has been lowered in power to 70, it's still good for the priority. Finally, we have another Fang, which is Thunder Fang. 95% accuracy, 65 base power. It's an electric type move, so it'll give you some coverage. Obviously, in terms of Fire Fang and Thunder Fang, you have Grass and Water types, which you're both weak to, and of course, those two moves cover those two types. So it's definitely something to think about doing, as well as Steel, of course. Fire Fang is going to be good against it too. So there's different options to do there. Those are all your moves, and of course, you'll see how they come together when we look at the sets, which is right now. We're going to have 3 sets for Lycanroc. The first of those is more of a I don't know how to describe it really. It's more of a lead and do some funny stuff with. The second one is more of a set Stealth Rock setup, and particularly, and the last one is more of a full out offensive one. So to start off with the first set we have in terms of moves: Swagger, Taunt, Reversal or Counter, and then Sucker Punch or Stone Edge. Ability is No Guard, Nature is a Jolly one, held item is going to be a Focus Sash, and the EVs are going to be Maximum Attack, Maximum Speed, and then a few more trickled in health points there. So what's this set all about? We have Swagger and Taunt, and it's sort of designed to use your opponent's attack against them. So you can Swagger them, that's cool, they then get confused, so they may or may not hit you, and they have higher attack. If they hit you, okay, you're probably going to go down to 1 health point, but you're saved by your Focus Sash, so then next turn, assuming you're faster, you can Sucker Punch them, or you can counter them, or not necessarily counter, but reversal them, for example, if you're on low health. Or if you send Lycanroc out and you're taunt, you see a Pokemon that you would want to taunt, for example, Ferrothorn maybe not Ferrothorn, but a Pokemon that's not going to be able to do much damage to you, but might want to set up stuff like Spikes or Toxic Spikes. You can taunt them, they won't be able to use that move, and then you can proceed to set up your own stuff with Swagger and then do some damage. Of course, if as I mentioned just now, if you Swagger them and they then hit themselves in confusion, they've lost some health points, and they can go ahead and Sucker Punch and then Stone Edge or whatever else you have until eventually they'll hit you down to the Focus Sash, and then you can Reversal. The choice of Reversal or Counter depends on how you want to use it. Reversal works best with swaggering and accepting that you're going to go down to 1% health points and 1 health point, and you use Reversal to hit that back against them, and then you can use it next turn for the 200 base power attack. Or if you don't want to sort of rely on that, you have Counter, which means that you're not necessarily going to Swagger straight away, you're going to counter them, which means that obviously you are just going to take the attack, hopefully lose all your health points, and then counter it back to 1-hit kill them. And I guess it depends on your last choices move as well. If you have Sucker Punch, you might want to use Counter and Sucker Punch, because obviously Counter means you have to move last. Sucker Punch is at least some priority. Or you could use Stone Edge anyway. It means you're fairly fast, but you might not be the fastest because the speed stat isn't amazing. In terms of nature, Jolly is chosen because we want the speed to be able to Swagger before they attack us, Taunt before they try and use their spikes, and then obviously Reversal before they manage to kill you after your Focus Sash has procced. So the ideal thing here is to be hit down, hit down and killed to 1% health points, and then reversal the next turn to basically just kill them, whoever they are. Maybe not whoever they are, but get some really good damage on them before you go. So it's not necessarily a suicide lead, but you're not gonna survive long with that. But the second one really is a suicide lead. The moveset for this one is going to be Stealth Rock, Taunt, Sucker Punch, and Roar. Ability this time is actually Vital Spirit rather than No Guard, because we are not using Stone Edge, so there's no need for No Guard. We might as well use Vital Spirit to give us that immunity to sleep. Then we have Jolly Nature again, Focus Sash is our held item once more, and the EVs are similar, but we have 252 in health points, 252 in speed, and then the last few in attack. I mean, this is not about attacking. We have Sucker Punch, but it's not our main sort of way of doing it. Not sort of our main way of doing it, is that the right term? Not sort of way of winning, I suppose. We have Stealth Rock, so the idea is to use this as a lead, a suicide lead. You send out, you Stealth Rock, maybe they hit you. If they attack you, you have you go down to 1% health points because you Focus Sash, or you don't. You can then think about using Sucker Punch the next turn or whatnot. If it's a Pokemon you know would like to use Spikes and Stealth Rock themselves, you can taunt them the first turn, and then go ahead and Stealth Rock the second turn, and then maybe they switch out when they do that, who knows. We also have Roar. So Roar is the other option for a move, for a Pokemon like that. You can roar them out, and of course then they can't sell them anyway. So it really depends on the situation you're in, what you want to do here. You only have to hope that you're fast enough to get the Roar or the Taunt in, or the Stealth Rock in, before the enemy does. And of course then when you're down to 1% health points, you can use Sucker Punch to get some extra damage off if you assume they're going to kill you the next turn. Of course Sucker Punch could be switched out for Reversal as well, if you would like to get that 200 base power, if you're confident. If you accept that you're not going to outspeed everyone, but you say, okay, well, the situations that I will outspeed, I can have Reversal and do a lot of damage. In the situations where I don't outspeed, okay, I'll just die. But Sucker Punch is probably the better choice there to be able to at least get a decent hit off before you die. In terms of how you use that set, I've sort of mentioned it. Switch out Stealth Rock, Taunt, or Roar depending on the Pokemon. And of course then when you're knocked down and you're probably going to die the next turn, you can Sucker Punch, or of course you can Sucker Punch beforehand if you really want to, but you're probably better off focusing your time on taunting or roaring them, and then Stealth Rocking them, and then eventually when you need to Sucker Punch, because there's no point spamming Sucker Punch if they're not going to attack you, and the most likely time they attack you is when you're down at 1% health points, or 5 health points, or half health points, and you can predict it easier then, not waste your PP. So that's that set there. If we then move on to the final set, as I mentioned, is more of a fully offensive one. Move-wise, we have Stone Edge, Sucker Punch or Crunch, Reversal, and then Fire Fang or Thunder Fang. Ability is No Guard once more here, and the nature can be Adamant or Jolly because we're combining this, as you can see, with a choice item, either Choice Scarf or Choice Band. EVs would just put maximum attack and speed and the last few health points to go for all-out damage, basically. Moveset wise, we have Stone Edge for our stab, combined with No Guard, that's 100% accuracy, all good. Sucker Punch or Crunch is up to you, that's your choice. Crunch does a bit more damage and has the chance to lower their defense, but Sucker Punch is for the priority, so we haven't got a Focus Sash here this time, so you have to worry about that, I suppose. Then we have Reversal in case you get down to low health points. You could run counter here, but generally I wouldn't expect you to, because we have choice items, so you can't use counter with choice item that well. And then Fire Fang or Thunder Fang, again, is up to you. It's coverage-wise. You could get rid of Reversal and have Fire Fang and Thunder Fang, but then you're lacking a bit of damage, especially at low health points when Reversal could do a lot of damage for you. Ability is No Guard to help out Stone Edge, basically, and the Fangs too. And Nature, Animal Joy is up to you and up to what item you're holding. If you have a Choice Scarf, you're holding me pretty fast, so that's good. And then you could say, I'm pretty fast, I'm going to outspeed most things, I'm going to give myself an Adamant Nature, so I can do a lot more damage. Or you could say Choice Scarf and Jolly Nature for all the speed. Or you could say, when you have a Choice Band, well, I'm not that fast because I haven't got a Scarf, I'm banded, I can use Jolly Nature to up it. So it's one or the other, or both, if you want to put all your eggs in the attack basket, all your eggs in the speed basket, it's up to you there. And then EVs, obviously attack and speed, are what we want to be focusing on here, with the last few health points for just a general bulk. How would you use this set? Well, it's a choice set, so it's a general choice set. You switch in, you use a move. If it's good, you stay in again. If it's bad, you switch out. Which is generally how it works. If you use Reversal, that's good. You hit in one turn, and then they say you switch into a Ghost type. Then it's probably best to stay in there because you're choiced into a Fighting type move, so you have to switch out and bring it back in later on. But generally, you'd want to use Stone Edge as your main move, unless of course you have, say they are a Psychic type, you can Crunch them or Sucker Punch them, or if they're another Rock type, you can probably Reversal them. But bear in mind that you don't want to use Reversal at full health, so you might want to Switch in one time, use Stone Edge, maybe let your health points go down to half or so, then switch back in later, and reversal to get the most out of that move. You don't want to waste a reversal, waste a turn basically, using a very low power reversal. You might as well use your base 100 power Stone Edge, it's not going to miss at all. But bear in mind this ability is no guard, so you're going to be taking a lot of hits yourself, or all of the hits yourself, so don't rely on hacks for them to miss you with another Stone Edge themselves. But yeah, that's basically the last set for Lycanroc Midnight there, and then that's going to be it for his or her video. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like the hit the like button down below, and of course vote for next episode's Pokemon, either Toxapex or Araquanid. Let me know which one you want to see down below in the comment section by saying Toxapex or Araquanid. Simple as that. But for now, this is going to be it for today, so I shall see you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.